Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So before we get started, please hit the subscribe button. That's much appreciated. We are getting into Monday night's look back at a classic rock album. This is the show that I do every week in which I talk about a classic album that's older than 15 years and is a 1, or a masterpiece album for me, and that I like quite a bit, obviously. So the album I've chosen to do tonight is this album by the Scorpions in Trance. I do apologize. I still haven't had the time to fix this camera. I will be off for a couple days, as will all of us, and I will do everything I can to fix it then. So this album by the Scorpions was released on September 17th, 1975 at the the Dirks Studios in Stolmine, West Germany. It's about 37 minutes or so long. RCA is the label it's on, and it's produced, of course, by Dirks. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down here a bit so I can get to the personnel. So personnel involved here. Obviously, this was the second album with Ulrich Roth, or Uli John Roth if you prefer, lead vocals, slide guitar and vocals, Klaus Meine on vocals, Rudolf Schenker on rhythm guitar, Francis Buchholz, I always want to say it's a different way, on bass, and Rudy Lerner's, this is the first of two for him, on drums. Okay, so my little story about the Scorpions started for me with Blackout. My friend bought it, and we listened to it quite a bit. He then bought the subsequent album, which name I am drawing a blank on right now. So we had those two albums, and we listened to them quite a bit. I didn't actually own any of the early Scorpions albums that I can remember anyways. And that was pretty much it. I went through a period where I'd listen to them if I heard them, but I didn't really follow them too much. And then in the early part of my daughter's childhood, somebody I met was talking about the Scorpions and Rush being her two favorite bands because they sound so much alike. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I hate to say it, but it did. And it kind of wasn't, unfortunately for the Scorpions, they took the brunt of that, so I wouldn't listen to them. I didn't like them. And I never followed them after that until I came on this channel. When people started talking about them on other channels, I was out one day and saw this box set for 3 of their first albums. I said, I'll get that. And around that same time, I also got the Blackout albums. And I had another one that I really didn't pay much attention to. So now I'm going through them all, and In Trance is the one we're doing today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the album. So this is a hard rock album with some kind of mellow parts to it at times too, some really kind of melodic, sad sounds to it. I think the vocals are excellent on this album. I do really like Klaus Meine. I think he has a superb voice, which is kind of funny because I don't like Eloy because of the German sounding of the voice. This guy doesn't have that. He's just really solid. So we'll start with the track breakdown here. So we've got Dark Lady, which is the first track on the album. I like this track. It's not one of my favorites on the album, but I do like it. Very heavy, rumbling start, catchy guitar parts, nice heavy solo, and the vocals are kind of a little bit of a darker sound than you normally get from them, and the backing vocals are a little bit supporting that kind of sound. The next song I think is probably my favorite on the album, and it's probably it might even be my favorite Scorpions song. I'm sure many people love this song too. In Trance, the title track, starts out with a kind of a quiet guitar with some sad vocals. Then it just really jumps right up with some heavy, really catchy riffs here. Like some real solid hooks. And then another interlude of sadness followed again by this heavy, catchy rhythm guitar with a fantastic solo during that. So, yeah, fantastic song. Life's Like a River is another pretty solid song. Heavy opening guitar and bass part. The vocals are clear and strong, and yeah, some of the parts are somewhat heavy. You know, the next track out is Top of the Bill. This one is another really good, solid song. One of my favorite songs on the album. Catchy and heavy riff with this kind of whining guitar throughout the song that goes on throughout the entire song. The vocals and the harmony are both clear and heavy. The next track out, Living and Dying. Kind of a slow melodic guitar opening. This one has probably the heaviest emotional parts for the vocals on here. It's just absolutely killer by Klaus. He's just absolutely amazing on this. And then there's that kind of heavy guitar riffing towards the end of the track too. This one was arguably right there with In Trance. These are probably my two favorite tracks on the album. So the backside of the album, which is not uncommon for albums from that time, isn't as strong as the A side, but still pretty strong. Robot Man, another good solid track. Heavy, scratchy kind of guitar sound to it. You've got some fast pace. It's a pretty fast paced song. The vocals and the lead guitar are a bit murky on this particular song, and I think it might have been done on purpose to try and capture some effect. The next song, Evening Wind, again melodic, heavy, sad track with some screeching guitar riffs on or stuff on this as well. Riffs, solos, really screeching stuff on here. Not one of my favorite tracks, maybe my least favorite track on the album, to be honest with you. Sun in My Hand, another strong track. Fast-paced start with the guitar, really heavy bass and drums on this. Some distorted vocals and guitar. They're just really making some weird noises like that on the vocals, and then the guitars are the same, just kind of muddled. It's a very muddly like track. Next track, Long for Fire. Heavy up-tempoed guitar and bass. Like this almost completely opposite of Sun in My Hand. The vocals are strong, melodic, and just really good stuff here. Catchy riff. The solo is really strong on this. And then it ends off with a kind of slow melodic guitar sound that just kind of goes on for a few minutes and then ends. Not particularly interested, but I guess not a bad close. A lot of bands used to close with some kind of an instrumental in those days. So, In Trance by the Scorpions, the album we did for today. I hope you liked this. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. That's much appreciated. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. If you want to make any comments about the Scorpions, this album, Uli John Roth, any of the band members, anything I've said, you can put that in the comment section below. And we will be back next Monday night with another look back at yet another classic rock album. Have yourself a good night, a good week, and a Merry Christmas to you all.